Okay. All right, I want to welcome everybody to Understanding Bank Transactions for Small Business. We're very excited to be able to offer this to everyone today. This is a new presentation for SCORE, and I expect that we're going to have a lot of fantastic information for you to take away with you today. We have Johnny Long from the East Cambridge Savings Bank, and he has also brought along a guest, and I believe he will introduce him shortly. So East Cambridge Savings Bank has been graciously sponsoring several financial awareness type programs, and we do have a few more coming up soon in the next month, and I will definitely put those registration links in the chat after my intro, just so that you can not miss out on any of the great information that we've been providing. So I want to just talk quickly about SCORE. SCORE is a volunteer-based organization. We offer training. Most of the times is free. Occasionally it might cost $10 tops. Our training is some in person, not very much, mostly on webinars. Lots of information on every business topic that you can imagine. The most important thing that SCORE does is mentoring. Our mentors are volunteers with lots of experience and knowledge that they want to share with you. We work with folks that are thinking about starting a small business, are in the process of starting a small business, and already have a business. We help with the growth and management of current business owners. I get a lot of questions about how a mentoring session works, and sessions generally run 30 to 45 to 60 minutes. Really depends on the amount of questions you have at the time. The first session will be about getting to know you and what your goals are. And the SCORE mentor will help you formulate a plan of attack so that you can reach those goals, and they will work with you as long as necessary to reach those goals. Our SCORE mentors work as a team, so sometimes we'll bring in others to help with different areas on different topics that you need help with along that way. You might be wondering, how do I get a mentor? And that is very easy. You can put a note in chat and I'll have the right chapter reach out to you, or you can go to the websites listed here and I will put those in chat after the intro. Those websites are great. Even if you're not looking for a mentor, there's a library section with all kinds of tools and templates that you'll find helpful. You'll also find other pre-recorded webinars and training topics that you might find interesting. We are expecting a nice group of people today, so I would love it if you could use the Q&A tab on your Zoom bar to answer any, or to put in any questions that you want me to ask to the presenter on your behalf. Chat can be used for everything else, but if you could put your questions for the presenter in that Q&A tab, that way I don't lose track of any. We will try and answer some questions throughout the presentation, and then we'll have some at the end as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull down my screen, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Johnny.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for the warm welcome, Teresa. So I'm Johnny Long, business maker at East Cambridge Savings Bank, and we've really enjoyed this partnership with SCORE thus far, and so we're excited to bring you this last workshop of our fall series. A little bit about East Cambridge Savings Bank. We're a full-service mutually owned bank, and we're committed to being the preferred banking partner in the communities we serve, and we're proud to announce that we've just expanded to Woburn as well after our acquisition of Patriot Bank. So being mutually owned means that we don't have shareholders. Our customers own us, so that puts us in a really unique position to put our customers, our businesses, and our communities at the forefront. And we've been doing that since 1854. And so enough about me. I'd like to introduce you to one of our fantastic partners at the bank, Joe Santoro of East Commerce Solutions.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining today, and I look forward to presenting some information on merchant services and credit card processing and how that can enhance your business. Basically, East Commerce Solutions, we have been in the payment processing industry since 1994. We are a national company. We are based in East Providence, Rhode Island, but have offices throughout New England as well as in Kentucky. And basically, we serve over 17,000 customers nationwide. Our annual processing volume is $2.5 billion. And our goal is to make credit card processing simple for our customers. And in the payment landscape today, it can be very, very confusing if you're a business owner on, accepting credit cards as a form of payment from your customers. What are the fees? What does it cost? Why does it cost what it costs? In our industry, again, the pricing is very complex. So our goal is really to educate the customer base, to explain to them basically their controllable costs and their non-controllable costs, and customize a program that really fits their business now, and as well as what they can grow into the future. So a couple of fast facts for you, as business owners that are looking to possibly accept cards as a payment option from your customers. There are some things that you really need to know. In today's economic landscape, it really is a necessity that you give your customers every payment option to make it easy for them to do business with you. So, some fast facts are, consumers spent over $3 trillion in credit card transactions last year. It is the preferred method of payment from the consumer base. More than 90% of individuals have at least one credit card. 80% of consumers prefer spending with a card over cash. 86% of all transactions are made with the four major credit cards, right? Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. And when you're opening a merchant account, you have the ability to accept all of those types of credit cards. One of the key things for your business is that credit card acceptance will actually increase your average sales. So consumers will spend up to 83% more with your business when you give them the option to utilize a credit card over, let's say, a cash transaction or a check transaction. And there are over 2.8 billion credit cards worldwide. I'm having just a little issue. So really, who's who in the payment industry? I like to kind of equate the payment industry to the telecom industry. All of you obviously own a phone, a cell phone, and with that phone, you choose a network or a provider, right? Your provider may be AT&T, it may be Verizon, it may be T-Mobile. In our industry, there are 6 major credit card processing networks. And what they do is clear and settle the transaction from your credit card terminal at your business location, and then fund them into your actual business operating account. So the processing networks include First Data, Elavon, Chase Paymentech, TSYS, WorldPay, and Vantiv. These are the networks that actually clear and settle the transactions on behalf of Visa and MasterCard. And just like with the telecom industry, your choice of network may be predicated on the type of technology that you're using to accept those credit card payments. Are you using a standalone credit card terminal? Are you using a point of sale system that may only be certified to work with one of these networks? Are you utilizing mobile payment processing where you're downloading a payment app into your smartphone or a tablet and able to process that way? So there are a multitude of ways that you may process transactions. It just really is imperative that you're working with a vendor that understands what you're trying to accomplish and is matching you with the best solution. So you as business owners are providing goods and services to your cardholders. When you are enrolling in a merchant account, you are signing what's known as a merchant processing agreement. And that really is the rules and regulations that Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover want you to abide by to deliver the best service to their cardholders, okay? Now, there's a lot of talk in the industry, and there's a lot of different things, there's a lot of confusion in the industry about what business owners can and cannot do as it relates to credit card processing. It depends on the state in which you're operating. So for instance, in the state of Rhode Island, Visa and MasterCard allow you to charge a surcharge or pass the processing fee on to the consumer. Many business owners have adopted that method where they'll say, okay, if you're going to use a credit card, we're going to charge a flat 3% or 3.5% in addition to that price. And that offsets the fees that they will pay to have a merchant account. In the state of Massachusetts, it is not allowed by the state. It goes by a different name called cash discounting. So in the state of Massachusetts, business owners must post a price for cash and a separate price for credit. So little different operating procedures, but you always want to make sure that you are in compliance with all the rules and regulations of Visa, MasterCard. So a question just came through from Cindy that's network companies, are they linked to specific cards? Cindy, no, all of those processing networks will process all of the cards, okay? They are all registered with Visa and MasterCard as network providers. It really depends on the company that you're working with, which network they will place you on. And again, a lot of that has to do with you know, the type of equipment that you're using. Okay. Sorry. So there are multiple ways that as a business owner, you know, you can accept charges from your customers. You know, one of the things that are out there now are basically terminals, right? Smart terminals, where they're Android or Apple-based devices, which let you insert the card, read the chip, or accept NFC payments, things like Apple Pay and Google Wallet, okay? And there's a variety of add-on applications that you can add to these smart terminals, but a terminal generally is just a payment device. So, you know, you're running the sale from that customer, you're inserting that card, that transaction then is processed, it runs through one of those processing networks, you receive an approval at the point of sale or a decline, and the money is then deposited into your business checking account within 24 to 48 hours, okay? So a regular credit card terminal is a very simple way to be able to accept payments from your customers. Many customers or many merchants today basically are doing business in not just brick and mortar storefronts, but they might be mobile, okay? They may be doing delivery services. So they are looking for mobile processing options, and you always have the option to process through a mobile payment device. It could be an application that is downloaded onto your smartphone and basically will have a card reader that will either connect to the headphone jack or will connect to your telephone by Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, okay? There are also mobile credit card terminals that actually will print out a paper receipt if you prefer that over having to email a receipt. All of the solutions that are out there in the field today, you should ask the question, is it PCI compliant? And every merchant that accepts credit cards as a form of payment must be PCI compliant. And PCI stands for the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards. You've all heard about the major data breaches that have occurred over the years where hackers have got into network systems and have absconded with credit card numbers, expiration dates, those types of things. You want to make sure that the payment device that your provider is giving you is a PCI compliant device. That means it encrypts the credit card processing data so there cannot be a hack, okay? As business owners who accept credit cards, you are required to fill out what's known as a self-assessment questionnaire. Companies like East Commerce Solutions, we basically take the work and the worry out of PCI compliance. So if you were one of our customers, we would handle your PCI compliance for you. We would file those documents on your behalf. You would receive a certificate of compliance, and you would also receive breach protection coverage. You know, many of the businesses today, when you're dealing with your business insurance, right, data protection coverage, it might be an add-on that you may want to get. But we will provide that to our customers, and we handle their PCI compliance. One of the big challenges that we see out in the field with business owners who are currently accepting credit cards is their provider is not communicating to them that they need to be PCI compliant and they need to be able to fill out that self-assessment questionnaire and file it. Failing to do so results in actually monthly penalties on your merchant processing statement. So we see a lot of business owners out there that are not aware they need to be PCI compliant, they need to file that SAQ, and they're seeing non-PCI compliant fees on their merchant processing statement. Those fees can range from anywhere from $19 a month for a non-compliance fee all the way up to $129 a month for a non-compliance fee, depending on what processing network that you're utilizing, okay? Another question came up, says, I know people can have their credit card info taken with those handheld machines that strip the data off the credit card. Similarly, the mobile credit card processors, POS, other ways of accepting payments can be intercepted by a hacker using these machines in a store or through other means, even if encryption is accounted for with the credit card processing solution. Yes and no. This is why, you know, we went to EMV, to chip cards, and we've been, you know, the United States has really been a late adapter to that type of security and technology. But the whole idea of PCI compliance and EMV processing is the card is never to leave the cardholder's possession. The cardholder inserts the card, or the cardholder uses their Google Wallet or NFC payments, and that transaction data is tokenized and encrypted, okay? Therefore, cannot be used in any fraudulent way. Next slide, please. There are also point of sale systems that are available for businesses to utilize. Now, if you're looking for inventory control, if you're looking to basically have the ability to have your employees clock in and clock out through an electronic system, and then have those payroll reports forwarded to your payroll provider. There's a variety of technology that is available to you to not only run payments, but also integrate inventory control, customer relationship management, being able to email your customers, giving them discounts for visits, giving them rewards points. So there's a variety of different solutions that are available to you as business owners based on the kind of business that you have, as well as what you're trying to accomplish as far as reporting and understanding, you know, profit margins, costs, etc. Point of sale systems are extremely important to any type of retail business. It really gives you an insight onto your inventory, the products that you're selling, products that you're not selling, where are my profit margins, do I need to adjust my pricing? So POS systems are very, very powerful tools that will help you become more profitable and understand really where your revenue and profits come from. For service-based industries, okay, e-commerce and payment gateways are a great solution as well. So basically, if you are a merchant that is just selling online, you will need a payment gateway that encrypts and tokenizes the transactions, okay? and will allow you to process transactions online. Payment gateways will also allow you, okay, the ability to take credit card numbers over the phone. So let's say you are a business to business, or you're not business to consumer, you're selling to other businesses, and your customers are not coming to your location. They're either ordering over the internet or ordering via phone. It gives you the ability to enter in credit card information on a secure server through a secure link, and then we'll hold that data so you can do repeat sales with that customer. They can call back and you can say, well, yes, would you like to use the card ending in 492? You can also do reoccurring billing. So if you're a subscription service, or let's say you're something like a health club, where you're charging that customer X amount of money per month, you can set that automatically, that they will hit that either checking account through an ACH or hit a credit card or a debit card that will give you reoccurring billing. Payment gateways also will give you the ability to send out electronic invoices. So basically, instead of doing paper invoices, sending it out in the mail, and your terms might be net 15 or net 30, waiting for a check to come back, then you have to go to the bank and deposit a check and wait for the check to clear. An electronic invoicing product will really make you more efficient and speed up cash flow, right? So basically, you send out an invoice via email, and in the body of that email is a link for your consumer to click on. They are directed to a secure server where they're entering in that credit card information, you receiving payment, and that transaction is now posted into your business checking account the very next day. So there's a lot of ways that accepting electronic payments, and it's not just credit card processing, it's really digitizing the payment to make sure that you're getting your money faster, you're getting your money quicker, and you have access to cash flow. Cindy also has a question: what is the best credit card system for online sales? There are many different payment gateways. Authorize.net here is listed. Authorize.net is a CyberSource solution. CyberSource is owned by Visa, and Authorize.net was the original payment gateway. So I was around in the late 90s when when we first started doing e-commerce, and Authorize.net has been a player and has been really the leading payment gateway for online sales. It integrates with more shopping carts than any other processing gateway. But you have, again, a lot of different types of solutions and platforms that are out there today. One of the things I will warn you about is certain platforms are proprietary. So what they'll say is, okay, for instance, a platform like Stripe, or for online sales, right? You can utilize Stripe's platform, but they will say to you, okay, great, we have to do your credit card processing. And really what they'll do is what's known as a flat rate program at 2.75 or 3%. And that pricing is really not in your best interest, because you should be able to process cards, depending on your average ticket and the types of cards that are coming through, anywhere between 2 and 3%. So, I definitely would advise all of you to look at a multitude of options as it relates to payments, and really get educated on, what the processing is. Another question is, what limitations and advantages does this choice of e-commerce website builder, Shopify, WooCommerce, WordPress, or other ones result in? Again, it depends on what you're looking for functionality. WooCommerce is a great tool for building websites, and WooCommerce does have a lot of integrations. So it will integrate with Authorize.net, it will integrate with Converge, EPN. Shopify again is one of those more restricted types of platforms, where they're going to say to you, well, we'll give you Shopify, but we want to do your credit card processing. Cindy asked, so the processing fee should be different for each type of credit card you use. Yes, absolutely. So how pricing in our industry works is there are 3 players in the payment chain that are actually taking a piece of the pie from you, the merchant. The first are the issuing banks, okay? So Visa, MasterCard basically will provide cards to banks and they will issue cards. And we have in our industry what's known as interchange. There are over 600 different price points based on the type of card that is presented for payment. So for instance, if someone is paying you with a debit card, the wholesale cost of interchange, which goes back to the bank that issued the card, okay, is lower than, let's say, a credit card with frequent flyer miles or points to it. So there are all different types of cards. I think we missed that slide. Yeah, so I apologize for that, but debit cards, credit cards, rewards cards, corporate cards, procurement cards, right? There's all different types of cards, and each card has a specific wholesale cost, regardless of who you're processing through. Interchange costs have to be paid to the issuing bank. Then we have the card associations, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. They take a small percentage on each transaction. And then finally, the processing networks that we talked about, Elavon, First Data, WorldPay, Vantiv, they will charge you for processing the transactions. So with companies like Stripe and Square, what they try to do is say, okay, they try to make it simple for you to understand and say, hey, here's a flat rate of 2.75. But that is not really in your best interest, because you should be, if most of your cards are debit cards, you can be clearing those transactions less than 1%. So why would I pay 2.75% on a transaction I can clear for less than 1? It all depends on the type of the average ticket size that you have, the type of product that you're selling. Obviously, if you are a business that has a lower ticket, right, you're going to see more debit card transactions. If you have a higher ticket, you're probably going to see more rewards cards transactions. So, you know, it really depends on your business type, but talk to a certified payment professional. Talk to someone who really, again, represents all of those networks and is not tied to one, and will be able to get you the best processing rates. Where does processing transactions to the top 10 cryptocurrencies come into play with e-commerce transactions? Great question. Crypto is just becoming adopted into the major processing networks. So the jury is still kind of out on that. And I think until the issuing and acquiring banks get more of a foothold in the crypto space, you're going to see some challenges with that. Where do you find a certified payment professional? Great question, Cindy. Again, it's a designation, right? Like a certified financial planner. It's a designation that your sales representative will have. I'm a certified payment professional. Many of our sales team are all certified payment professionals. So it really depends on the organization that you're dealing with. But really, the education piece is a big piece of this. You need to understand, again, and they should be able to show you what interchange is. Interchange, right, is what the issuing banks take on every transaction. It is standardized throughout the United States of America. It is published twice a year in the Wall Street Journal in April and October. And you can find the interchange categories on Visa and MasterCard's website, as well as the interchange for Amex on their website, interchange for Discover on their website. So you should always be priced on what's known as an Interchange Plus program, where that wholesale cost is transparent. You're seeing the types of cards, you're seeing the actual costs that, again, are uncontrollable. And then all you're comparing is, what is my payment network charging me above those uncontrollable standardized fees? Okay, so that's a great question. The next slide, I think that's it. So I really appreciate, again, your time. Hopefully this was, informative for you. And if you know, if there's any other questions, we'd be more than happy to answer those for you. Okay, I think we're all set, Johnny, so throw it back to you.
All right, great. Thank you, Joseph. And it's a nice segue. I'll be discussing some banking solutions out there that can really help your business maximize cash flow and liquidity. So getting your money faster while saving time and money. So 1 second here.
I think we did have another question that came up while we're waiting for Johnny to get his section ready. I was told that entrusting another company like Stripe, Square, Shopify, PayPal to process their transactions fees us from our responsibility in the case of a cyber hack of website user data. Would any of what you covered us in the clear from being used or from being sued because we would not hold that data?
Right, exactly. So, you know, again, the key is, especially with a payment gateway or with a credit card processing devices, to be PCI compliant. So yes, no cardholder data should ever be on your computer or your networks. That's why we utilize PCI compliant solutions. And you just want to make sure that whatever solution is being presented to you, it is a PCI compliant solution. That means that credit card information is tokenized and encrypted. It also means that no credit card information will ever be held in your device or in your servers. That is correct. So any PCI compliant solution by definition is one that would not hold payment data for as the company correct. That is correct. Absolutely. What is most protective against chargebacks? It depends on the business that you're operating. In a face-to-face environment, obviously a signed receipt will definitely help to protect against a chargeback. With small transactions, we're seeing no receipt is required. So those chargebacks should be pretty much non-existent because of the chip technology. If you are more of a specialized business, basically the language in your contract to your consumer should really be rock solid. And again, talk to your attorney about that. So for instance, your refund and return policy should be clearly stated. Your return or refund policy may be there are no refunds. You may be doing custom work for someone. But it's really important that you have signatures on your contracts, your policies and procedures from your customers to basically protect you in the event of a chargeback. Consumers have 180 days to dispute any charge on a credit card. It is the merchant's responsibility, once a chargeback is initiated, to prove, number one, products and services were delivered, they were delivered successfully, there's no deficiency in the product that we sold. So, you know, again, having very clear, right, refund, return policies, very clear policies on, you know, what you're selling and you know, what the responsibilities of you and the consumer are. It is very helpful. Continuing that question on PCI compliance, using Shopify would include this, and my company wouldn't be liable for data breaches. Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
Okay, Johnny, it's all yours.
All right, thank you. All right, so the three, so what I wanted to also, just to segue into merchant services, wanted to chat about some of the banking solutions out there that I mentioned that can also help to maximize your cash flow. So the three that I'll be reviewing today are remote deposit capture, also known as RDC, wire transfers, and automated clearinghouse services, ACH. So I'll first start with remote deposit capture. So this service allows businesses to deposit checks through a desktop scanner without having to physically go to the bank. So you can capture the check data and images just by transmitting that information to the bank, and it's usually through a secure internet connection. So some of the benefits of this service are you can do it in-house. So you can deposit checks at the comfort of your office or your home anytime without having to stop into the bank. And then that helps you save time. The time that you spend a business going to the bank, waiting in line, and then depositing that and then running back to the office. So there's a lot of opportunities there to save on payroll costs. You know, if you're paying a courier to run those deposits for you, you know, think about that hourly rate that you're paying them. And that's, and in addition to that, you're also improving the collection process and your cash flow. Oftentimes with these services, the funds availability are much sooner, but it'll depend vary based on the bank that you're with. Some things to consider, you know, as far as if RDC would be a benefit to the business, is there are other alternatives as well, such as which some of us may use mobile deposit. And so it'll vary depending on what the volume of checks that you're receiving. So if you're a business that generally receives a lot more checks as payments, then this would be a solution for you. Where if you're depositing just one or a few checks, then you may not use it as much. And so the cost benefit analysis would then, that would have to come into factor. And so, which businesses or which industries can benefit? In really any business looking to save time and money, but more so, as I mentioned earlier, businesses that are processing large volumes of check payments. So some of the industries that may use this more so than others are insurance companies, healthcare companies, any retail business. But again, any business, small, large, can benefit from the service. And so another solution for wire transfers. So wire transfer is an electronic transfer of funds between banks, and it can be done domestically within the country or around the world. And with wire transfers, it involves sending and receiving information, and some of the information that you'll need are the beneficiary's account number, their address, as well. And one thing to note that wires are final and typically cannot be canceled once initiated. And so that is one of the benefits where it's traceable. So once you send the wire, you're able to trace exactly where it went. And it's almost immediate. Oftentimes wires are sent, within the hour or same day if it's domestic, sometimes maybe a few more days if it's an international wire transfer, but it's almost instantaneous. Now, what are some industries that can benefit? And there are some companies, some industries that may use this more so than others. And for example, that would be a law firm or real estate development company. But really, any business can benefit from being able to process wire transfers. If you're a business looking to quickly transfer funds, or if you're transferring large amounts of money, then you're able to take advantage of this benefit. And with wire transfers, oftentimes you can do it within the local branch, but you are also able to do it online remotely as well from the comfort of your office or your home. It also depends on the demand for your if you have a client or a vendor that's looking for immediate payment, that may be their preferred method of receiving payment. And if you're looking to accommodate your client, that's another solution that you can choose to offer. And lastly, wanted to chat about ACH. So ACH payments are direct transfer of funds between banks, such as direct deposit and direct payments. So if you receive a direct deposit in your account, that's considered ACH, which I know most of us have. If you've paid a credit card online, that's considered ACH. So if you've thought about or wish you could get paid faster, or if you thought there was a way that you can pay your clients faster, ACH is often a solution for businesses. And so some of the benefits include faster funds collection and disbursement. These are also traceable as well. You have fewer lost payments compared to checks being mailed. Automation. Automated processing helps you eliminate any manual keying of information. And it's also an alternative to accepting credit cards or processing wires. In some cases, could be a cheaper solution. And in terms of which industries can benefit, largely any business that's looking to send payments or collect payments electronically. Some industries that take advantage of it more so than others are more large volume businesses, such as healthcare clubs, property managers, daycare businesses that are automating their collection. If they have a monthly invoice that's due automatic, they are able to collect that automatically through ACH. And now what's the difference between ACH and wire transfers? So it really comes down to speed, cost, and then just the global availability. So with speed, wire transfers are faster. In most cases, they are same day. Whereas ACH typically can go up to 2 days, very often it's the next day. In terms of which one is more cost effective, it really will depend on the unique business and the volume of transactions, but generally speaking, wire transfers, but ACH are generally less expensive than wire transfers. And in terms of the global availability, ACH is generally just for now domestic within the country, whereas wire transfers, you can initiate that both within the country and outside the country. And so as far as the summary, just benefits of the solution I mentioned earlier, they're all really around saving time, saving money, increasing security and efficiency, while also maximizing your cash flow as well, and really making use of like the employee productivity. Now, if you have employees that are currently going to the branch to deposit checks, that these are solutions that can help you be more efficient in that manner. And in terms of costs of these, in terms of the cost compared to the benefits, it's going to widely vary based on your bank. But with your institution, they're able to provide a analysis to see what the potential benefits versus costs are, and to see if any of these solutions would be a benefit to your business. And that is it. Any questions?
Yeah, we do have a couple questions posted. Is there a way we can require knowing the name of the person making the wire transfer on behalf of a company rather than just seeing an account and routing numbers?
Yes, as far as initiating a wire transfer, their name is required.
Okay. Can we set up ACH in such a way that they couldn't empty the checking account by the time the money is transferred 1 to 2 days after?
In terms of the ACH would overdraw the account?
That's maybe, I think that's what they're asking. Maybe they can add more information, but that's what I would assume.
Yeah, with ACH so it's considered pre-funded, so it is based on your available balance. So if there aren't available funds in your account at the time, then the ACH payment wouldn't be initiated.
Okay. For healthcare practitioners looking to accept, FSA and HSA payments, how can we make that happen? Would a registration with a bank or other institution be necessary to offer this functionality online when clients book appointments?
That is a great question. I will have to give that some more thought, but I'd be happy to follow up with that question.
Okay, yeah, the person listed is anonymous, so they'll need to put a note into chat to panelists who they are so that we can address that question offline. Some insurance to us as the company allowing ACH so that we aren't left empty-handed. Oh, that was a follow-up to the other question. Is there, I think what they're saying, so the ACH doesn't go beyond some insurance. Yeah, that's the question about them being able to take out more than what was requested, perhaps, because they have access to. I'm
Well,
not
it's your
sure.
business that if you set up an automatic ACH with another company or vendor, you've allowed them, you set up a pre-authorized payment. So if it's a recurring one, they would have to abide by that agreement and what that amount is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So maybe the person that asked the FSA or HSA question can, you see Johnny's email address on the screen. You can maybe email him directly and he can answer that question more directly. And I don't see any further posted questions. So I think that should, yeah, I'm just giving a few seconds, stalling a few seconds in case anyone has any more questions, but I think we've covered everything today. And I want to thank Joe and Johnny for sharing all that fantastic information with you all today. And I'll thank you for joining SCORE. And oh, let's see, we got another one. How would you accept crypto payments?
That is a fantastic question. At this time, I can only speak on East Cambridge Savings Bank, but we are not accepting cryptocurrency. But I'd be happy to follow up to see to get some more information on that.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think that covers all the questions. Thanks, everyone, and have a great rest of your week. Thank you.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.